let's sort of pick the timeline back up then. So we're speaking about school where, you might have stumbled across the wrong sort of crowd or influences and everyone was trying to be a bit gangster back then because of various reasons. We don't have to talk too much about your darker times unless you want to, but take us through then coming out of it. You said you started...
Coming out of high school, or what do you mean?
Yeah, coming out of that period where you said you just felt like you were going nowhere.
Like, how long was that dark period for? I can't believe I didn't even know this, and I was like, your cousin.
Yeah, because I was too gangster to tell you.
It's like every time I'd be coming to your house or family parties, I'm like, oh yeah, Rich is just on his computer playing games. Like,
yeah.
Pop pills.
And he's not popping pills.
That's a good question.
So I guess coming out of school then, let's take it like sort of not year by year, but time by time. So coming out of school.
What
was the plan?
Just trying to be hard, dude. That's all it was. And we developed a group, actually, as well. We called it the EBH for the longest time.
What it stands for, what?
Ethnic Brotherhood.
Okay.
Yeah, so the people that I was around was mixed. So you had like a bit of Wog, a bit of Vietnamese, a bit of Filipino. There's always one white dude, right? Yep. So that sort of made it like, the Ethnic Brotherhood. That's why we called it the EBH. That didn't really last long. But from there, which I think I was like 19, 20 at the time. From there, we went clubbing and doing all that. You get into that scene and you meet people and you get influenced by certain people as well. And yeah, pretty much in a nutshell, it was just that phase of my life was all a mask, really. Just trying to be someone who you really weren't. Yeah. And
were you working, studying at that time?
Dole bludgeon. I was on the dole. And then I was studying, but not really studying. Like I was signed up to the courses, but I would just flunk out. I'd just go to the city, play some games, probably smoke up, do some drugs or something, Yeah. Because I think right after high school, I finally felt like a sense of freedom. My parents weren't as controlling anymore.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why, but they still wanted me to study hard and blah, blah, blah. But obviously at that time, my mindset was just to have fun, coming out of high school. And so I don't know what I was trying to do at the time, but I was trying to establish a sort of name for myself in that gangster kind of world. But yeah, thankfully that didn't last really long. So I think somewhere in my early 20s, I started to realize a lot of things when I was drugged up. There was a moment in time where like it just an epiphany kicked in. And I straight away went conscious and I realized like, fuck, I need to get out of this
So how old
position.
were you then?
It was 22 at the time.
Okay, so your dark periods are probably around like what you said, maybe starting from like 15, 16, your angry period.
Yeah, I would say that wasn't really a darker period. It was just me transitioning into the darker period. Okay. I was still
so kid, more right? 18. Okay, so from like
18. So by the time I was
22.
18, I was getting into like I don't know. It was weekly. We got into fights almost every week. It was almost normal. That's how bad it was. To say that getting into fights was normal every week is normal. That's fucked up. You think about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you guys the kids in the alleyway?
So I think it was like, say again?
I said, were you the kids in the alleyway?
I was those kids.
Okay, now I know.
Yeah, we were the Megro kids in the alleyway.
Went to the same school, didn't even know.
Yeah. But why would I wouldn't,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't tell my family about this sort of stuff because it's just...
Probably wouldn't want mommy running to your mom telling her either.
Well, I mean, I think I was too proud back then to say anything to my family as well.
No, yeah,
trying to be
fair.
a young Asian gangster kid back then. I was like, nah, I'm too good for you guys, blah, blah, blah. As young as I was, But yeah.
So you're on some shit high. You realize that it's not really where you want to be.
Yeah.
What's the next steps?
That's a good question. I think when I started... It's not
going to be an immediate thing, right? It'll be, all right, let me like ramp it down. I don't know.
Did you cut people out of your life?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I definitely cut a lot of people out of my life. Thankfully, the friends that I some of the people that was in that ethnic brotherhood, we all stuck around, and they've all become better persons themselves as well. There's obviously a few that was still in that world. We had to let them all go. Yeah. We just had to. We realized, well, I realized, I think at the time I was trying to influence or telling my friends as well. Obviously they didn't see it at first, but because they had a level of value, they started to slowly understand. It took time. But yeah, I was one of the first few to realize where I was in amongst the group anyway.